Bring all parts close to the stairs and unpack the accessories. It is best to put screws and small parts in a box. Take the dimension of the top hole of the last pillar from the drawing. Depending on the situation, you can start the installation from the upper or lower stop. In this case, the installation is started from above. The rail is fixed to the wall using pillars. In the case of wall mounting, the dimension can be transferred directly to the wall. Mark the height of the uppermost drill hole. In this case, the first hole is drilled in the wall. If the pillars are attached to the floor, the last pillar is attached to the staircase with a screw. Depending on the material of the wall or floor, ensure that it is securely fastened. The pillar is now attached and aligned using the top drill hole. The other screws are then drilled and fastened. Unpack the first rail section. If pillars with adjustment slots have been supplied, prepare the rail fastening with the screws, the conical washers and the T-nuts. Now hold on the rail and fasten it to the first pillar or to the wall using the first screw. The upper fastening hole of the lower bracket must match the drill hole marking. Minor differences are negligible. Also check the inclination of the rail. Now insert the missing pillars. Regularly check that the angle and height of the rail are correct. Drill some holes to ensure stability. However, do not drill the system completely tight yet. Unpack the next rail section and connect it to the previously assembled one. Use the M8 screws and washers supplied. Repeat the above steps until you have assembled the last rail section. Always make sure that the rail corresponds to the values in the assembly plan. If available, attach the horizontal tube to the rail. The screws are not yet tightened. The tube will be fine-tuned later using the platform. Once the rail has been fully assembled, all the fixing holes can be drilled and the rail screwed in place. Bring the platform close to the stairs at the lower stop and unpack it carefully. Ensure that the platform is stable. The batteries are already pre-installed. Remove the cover on the top of the platform side panel. The following is located here: cable for external batteries for emergency opening button, emergency operating switch. 1 is normal operation, 0 is lift switched off, 2 is emergency operation, up and down button for emergency operation. Move the emergency operating switch to position 2 and test whether the drive motor moves. Now deinstall the rail section of the lower stop again and attach the polyamide insertion device to the upper rail. Slide the insertion device into the upper carriage. Make sure that the pinion of the lower carriage touches the rack. Press the up button for emergency operation to move the platform onto the rail. Now reconnect the rail section with the platform to the previous rail section. Move the platform slightly up or down using the emergency operation buttons and then secure the rail completely. The platform and rail are now fully installed. Set the emergency operating switch to position 1 for normal operation. If the lift is equipped with a control on spiral cable, this must now be plugged in. Otherwise, the system will not work in normal operation. The next step is to open the platform. As no stops have yet been set, a stop must be simulated. To do this, press the loading lever and one of the two end switches on the lower carriage. Then press the open platform button on the radio remote control. The lift can now be moved using the hand cassette or the operating elements on the platform. To adjust the horizontal tube, the screws must be loose. Move the lift until the horizontal tube slides in the guide. Use a spirit level to check that the platform is level and tighten the screws. Repeat the process at every point where the horizontal tube is attached. Find a suitable location for the charger and drill holes to secure the bracket. If necessary, lay a cable duct for the 230-volt power supply cable. Lead the 24-volt power supply cable from the charger, black cable, to the upper or lower stop. Now guide the white cable supplied, which serves as the connection between the stops and the charger, via the lower tube of the rail to the black cable. The cable must be threaded out at each intermediate stop. We recommend using a retraction spring to make this easier. Before setting the stops, remove the polyamide buffers under the platform rear wall and install the actuating plate for the contact switches at the bottom instead. The activation ramps on the stop plate define which ramp or barriers are opened. To set the lower stop, position the platform so that the contact floor does not touch the floor even when loaded. Press the respective lever, top or bottom, for manual unlocking of the ramps and push the barrier arm upwards. This checks that the platform is in the correct position. Then return the ramp and barrier to the closed position. Push the end switch plate towards the end switch until it is pressed. Secure the plate and mark this position with a pen. Shorten the cable to the appropriate length, approximately 20 centimeters. A cable that is too long can be hidden in the rail later. Crimp cable lugs onto the positive pole of the white and black cable. On the white cable, the brown wire is the positive pole and the black wire is the negative pole. On the black cable, the white wire is the positive pole and the black wire is the negative pole. Connect the positive pole of the charger to the copper curve of the stop plate and the negative pole of the charger to the rail. Move the platform out of the stop and screw the stop plate to the previously set mark. Ensure that the edging of the stop plate rests on the C profile. This ensures the correct order of switch activation. Make sure that the T-nuts are completely twisted. Repeat the process for the upper stop. The ramp should rest on the floor by at least 20 millimeters and rise slightly from the upper stop. Crimp the cable lugs onto the positive and negative poles of the white cable. Connect the positive pole to the copper curve of the stop plate. Screw the stop plate to the previously set mark. Connect the negative pole to the rail. Attach the overrun protection approximately 5 centimeters after the upper stop. If available, find the correct position of the intermediate stop. The lower activation ramp defines the stop position. The upper activation ramp defines which ramp or barrier is to be opened. Position the plate so that the lower activation ramp is pressed at the correct position and the correct ramp or barrier opens. Screw the plate tight and mark this position. 2 white cables meet at intermediate stops. Crimp cable lugs onto both positive and negative poles. Connect the positive pole to the copper curve of the intermediate stop plate and the negative pole to the intermediate stop plate. Fix the intermediate stop plate to the desired position. As with all other stops, make sure that the T-nuts are completely twisted. Carry out a test drive to check that all stops are set correctly. Finally, refit the cover of the emergency operating switch on the top of the platform's side wall and grease the gear rack. The Stratos NG is now fully installed. Lehner Lifttechnik wishes you every success with your next installation.